I want you to picture a Tuesday afternoon. It is 2:15 p.m. You are sitting at your desk in a fluorescent-lit corporate office, or perhaps you are working from home, staring at a grid of 16 exhausted faces on a Zoom call. Your manager is talking. They are using words like synergy, bandwidth, and Q3 deliverables. You are nodding politely, playing the role of the engaged, compliant employee perfectly. But your hands are under your desk, and in your right hand you are holding your smartphone. While your manager is explaining a spreadsheet that absolutely no one cares about, your screen lights up with a silent notification. It is a payment alert from your automated software. $500 has just been deposited into your limited liability company's bank account. I want you to freeze that moment. You look up at the screen. You look at your manager, who is stressed about a deadline. You look at your coworkers, who are secretly browsing the internet, counting down the minutes until 5 p.m. so they can escape. And then you look back down at your phone. In that single, silent second, you just made more money than your day job pays you for 2 entire days of your life. And you did it without speaking a word, without asking for permission, and without anyone in that digital meeting having the slightest clue. You do not smile. You do not laugh. Your expression remains completely blank. But internally, the matrix has just shattered into a million pieces. You have tasted a highly addictive, incredibly dangerous substance, untethered, automated leverage. For the last 2 years, while your coworkers were binge-watching television, while your friends were spending their weekends at expensive brunches complaining about inflation, you were doing something else. You were operating in the shadows. You were building a cash flow machine. Today, we are going to talk about the quiet exit plan. We live in a culture that worships the loud exit. The internet has convinced an entire generation that if you want to escape the 9 to 5, you have to do it dramatically. You have to build a personal brand. You have to post inspirational quotes on social media. You have to announce to the world that you are an entrepreneur. And then you have to vlog your entire journey of quitting your job, walking out of the office in a blaze of glory, and proving your haters wrong. That is not freedom. That is a theatrical performance for an audience of strangers. When you build in public, when you tie your face and your ego to your business, you are simply trading a corporate boss for a much more ruthless boss, the algorithm, and the opinions of the crowd. If you want absolute, unshakable peace, you must choose the opposite path. You must become a ghost. You must build your empire in absolute secrecy. Let us break down the architecture of the quiet exit plan. It is a calculated, multi-year strategy to extract yourself from the traditional economy without triggering the alarms of society. It begins with the fundamental difference between a side hustle and a cash flow machine. A side hustle is driving for Uber. It is doing freelance graphic design on the weekends. It is trading your time for money, just at a different hourly rate outside of your day job. If you stop driving, you stop earning. A side hustle is just a second job in disguise. A cash flow machine is a system. It is an entity that exists outside of your physical body. You are not the worker in the machine. You are the architect of the machine. What does this look like in the real world? It looks incredibly, unapologetically boring. It is a portfolio of 10 simple, local lead generation websites for unsexy industries like commercial concrete pouring, asbestos removal, or industrial power washing. The websites rank on search engines, the phone rings. The automated software routes the call to a local contractor, and you collect a 20% commission on every job closed. It is buying 3 automated ice vending machines and placing them in high-traffic, blue-collar industrial parks. It is a boutique B2B software as a service that automatically reconciles inventory for small local pharmacies. These businesses have 3 things in common. First, they solve a painful, mundane problem. Second, they are entirely systemized and require almost zero physical labor from you once they are built. Third, and most importantly, your name, your face, and your ego are nowhere to be found. Nobody cares who owns the ice vending machine. Nobody cares who built the concrete pouring website. Because you are anonymous, you are protected from the prestige tax. When you start building this machine, you must adhere to the first rule of the shadows. You tell absolutely no one. You do not tell your parents. You do not tell your college friends. You absolutely do not tell your coworkers. Why? Because human beings are deeply uncomfortable with people who break the mold. When you tell a normal person that you are trying to build automated income to quit your secure corporate job, they will not encourage you. They will project their own financial terrors onto you. They will ask you about health insurance. They will ask you what happens if the economy crashes. They will tell you that it sounds like a scam. They will plant microscopic seeds of doubt in your mind. Worse, if you tell people you are building a business, they will constantly ask you how it is going. Hey, how is that startup of yours? During the first 12 months of building a machine, the answer is usually, I am making $0 and I am completely exhausted. Having to admit that to your friends is humiliating. It damages your morale. It feeds your ego's desire to quit and return to the safety of the herd. So, you keep your mouth shut. You smile, you talk about the weather, you talk about the latest sports game, you blend in perfectly with the crowd. You become a master of camouflage. Your evenings and your weekends become your sanctuary. From 9 p.m. to midnight, you sit at your kitchen table. You are tired. Your eyes burn from looking at a screen all day. But you do not stop. You are laying the digital bricks. You are writing the copy. You are configuring the software. You are negotiating the contracts with local vendors. You are slowly, meticulously pouring the foundation of your fortress. Around month 14, the hardest psychological phase begins. The machine starts working. It is not making millions, but it is making $1,000 a month, then $2,000, then $3,000. At this point, you are working 2 full-time jobs. You are maintaining your corporate career, and you are managing the growth of your machine. You are dangerously close to burnout. This is where the amateur gets impatient. The amateur looks at the $3,000 a month, walks into the boss's office, quits their job, and buys a celebratory watch. The professional does not blink. The professional understands the concept of the crossover point. The crossover point is the exact mathematical second where the monthly net profit from your invisible machine reliably exceeds your baseline survival expenses. But you do not calculate your expenses based on your current corporate lifestyle. You calculate it based on the stoic, stripped-down lifestyle you have intentionally designed. While you were building the machine, you were also systematically destroying your ego. You stopped buying clothes to impress your colleagues. You stopped going to overpriced restaurants. You moved to a cheaper, quieter neighborhood. You drove your monthly survival number down to $2,500. So when the machine hits $3,000 a month, you have officially crossed over. You are now financially immortal, but you still do not quit. This is the secret of the quiet exit plan. You stay in the corporate job for another 6 to 12 months. Why? Because you want to experience the most intoxicating, powerful psychological state a human being can achieve: corporate invincibility. You walk into the office, and the entire dynamic of the universe has shifted. Your boss calls you into a meeting. They are upset about a missed quarterly target. They are using fear tactics, hinting that bonuses might be cut or that layoffs might be coming. You look at them. You listen to their threats. And you realize with absolute clarity that they have zero power over you. If they fired you today, if they escorted you out of the building with a cardboard box, your life would not change. Your rent is paid by the machine. Your groceries are paid by the machine. Because you are no longer operating out of survival fear, you stop acting like a desperate employee. You stop volunteering for weekend projects. When they ask you to take on the workload of a laid-off coworker without extra pay, you politely, calmly say, "No, I do not have the bandwidth for that." You become a boundary-setting machine. And ironically, this often makes them respect you more. They sense that you are untethered. They sense a quiet, dangerous confidence in you that they cannot explain. They don't know you have a machine in the shadows. They just know you are no longer afraid of them. You use these final 6 months to stockpile your corporate salary. Because your living's expenses are covered by the machine, your day job paycheck is 100% surplus. You build a massive liquid cash reserve. You put a year of living expenses into a high-yield savings account. This is your psychological armor. Then, the day finally arrives. It is month 24. The machine is generating $5,000 a month in pure profit. Your cash reserves are overflowing. It is time to execute the quiet exit. This is where you must resist the final, most seductive trap of the ego. You will want a cinematic moment. You will want to tell your boss exactly what you think of their micromanagement. You will want to send a company-wide email exposing the toxic culture. You will want everyone to know that you are leaving because you are a successful business owner now. Do not do it. If you brag, you invite scrutiny. You invite jealousy. You invite the evil eye. You must exit exactly as you operated, like a ghost. You schedule a standard one-on-one meeting with your manager. You wear your normal, boring work clothes. You sit down, you hand them a plain, 2-paragraph letter of resignation, and you say, "I am incredibly grateful for my time here, but I have decided to step away to deal with some personal family matters and take a brief sabbatical." That's it. A sabbatical. A personal matter. It is the most boring, uninspiring, bulletproof excuse in the corporate world. Your manager will pry. They will ask what you are going to do. They will ask if you are going to a competitor. You just smile gently and say, "No, I just need to take some time off to figure out my next chapter. I'm going to travel a bit, maybe read some books." You deliberately paint a picture of someone who is slightly lost, slightly tired, and completely unthreatening. They will look at you with a mixture of confusion and pity. They will think you are making a terrible mistake. They will assume you are burning through your savings. Let them think it. Let them keep their pity. Let them keep their prestige. You finish out your 2 weeks flawlessly. You document your processes. You are the perfect, professional, boring, exiting employee. On your final day, there is no massive going-away party. Maybe a few people sign a generic card. You walk to your car. You turn the key. You drive out of the parking lot. The world looks exactly the same as it did yesterday. The sky is the same color. The traffic is the same. But for you, gravity has fundamentally changed. The next morning, you wake up. It is a Wednesday. You do not hear an alarm. You wake up simply because your body has finished resting. You walk into your kitchen. You pour a cup of coffee. You sit at the table and you look out the window. The neighborhood is empty. Everyone else is already gone. They are sitting in traffic. They are swiping their badges. They are sitting in the same fluorescent rooms, dealing with the same manufactured emergencies. You open your laptop. You check your dashboard. The machine ran all night. While you were sleeping, a contractor in Ohio bought 3 leads. A business in Texas paid their monthly software subscription. You made $200 before you even took your first sip of coffee. You close the laptop. You have the entire day ahead of you. You have the entire week. You have the rest of your life. You can go to the gym at 10:00 a.m. when it is completely empty. You can go to the grocery store at 2 p.m. and walk down silent aisles. You can sit in a park and read a book for 3 hours, and nobody will ping you on Slack to ask where you are. You have bought back the only asset in the universe that actually matters. And the most beautiful part of it all? You are completely anonymous. You don't have to post content to keep your audience engaged. You don't have to defend a personal brand. Your friends and neighbors will eventually ask what you do all day. You will give them a vague answer. You will say, "I do a little freelance consulting online. It pays the bills." They will nod, slightly unimpressed, and they will change the subject to their own promotions, their own mortgages, their own expensive, suffocating lives. You will listen to them. You will smile. You will be happy for them, because you no longer need their validation. You have learned the ultimate truth of the modern economy. Fame is a liability. Prestige is a tax. But silence is absolute power. You built a machine in the shadows. You starved your ego. You executed the quiet exit. And now you are a free human being walking through a world of sleepwalkers, entirely undetected. I'm Henry. Welcome to the boring path.